Well, let's start from the election headquarters, and it's brought to you by Petrosolio Clean Fuel in full quantity, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, also by the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and also by the Youth Bridge Foundation. The election headquarters for an informed electorate, and the Assin Central constituency of the NDC in the Central region is in turmoil as the party's constituency secretary, Sadiq Broni Yeboah, has issued a 3-day ultimatum to the national leadership of the party to reverse his suspension, failing which he will take legal action. Sexual allegations between the constituency secretary of the party and the 2024 parliamentary candidate has triggered suspensions, including the suspension of the party's regional chairman. But lawyers for the constituency secretary are demanding the party rescind the suspension of their client and provide him with a fair hearing, citing procedural irregularities and breach of natural justice. Let me share with you details of this, letter they've written to the party. Now it says, we'll be bringing you details of this particular letter from the Central region, where lawyers for the Assin Central constituency secretary are warning the party to reinstate him and give him fair hearing, else they will take the matter to court. What does this particular letter say? We'll bring you details of that and also bring you the background to this story. So the question you'll be asking yourself is, where have we come from to where we are today? What really necessitated all of these suspensions? We have all of that covered for you here on the news today. Richard Kojonyako, who is, the head of legal affairs here at JoyNews, will be joining me. But let me share with you details of this particular statement. It says, we write on instruction of Sadiq Broni Yeboah, our client of Assin Fosu in the Assin Central constituency in the Central region of the Republic of Ghana. Your letter referenced NDC/HQ/69/02/29 and dated 2nd July 2024 has been brought to our notice, and it is hereby referred. Your said letter communicates the decision of the Functional Executive Committee seeking to suspend our client on grounds that the purported withdrawal of the Assin Central PC was predicated on his deliberate misrepresentations and criminal conduct calculated to sabotage the PC, which is the parliamentary candidate, and by extension the party. It continues to say that our client is a member of the NDC, hereinafter referred to as, quote, the party, and until your letter referred supra, he was serving as the Assin Central constituency secretary. They continue to say that our client has at all material times been a true comrade, loyal and dedicated to the principles of the party, and has utmost respect for the structures and procedures contained in the constitution of the party. In the light of this, he instructs us to serve you this letter in order to exhaust the internal complaint / redress mechanisms pursuant to Articles 48 and 49 of the NDC Constitution. With the greatest respect, our client is scandalized by the decision of FEC to suspend him on findings impugning criminality to his conduct without first giving him a hearing. This is a clear contravention of due process envisaged under Articles 48 and 49 of the party's constitution, and same infringes on the principles of natural justice. To wit, odi autorem partem, hear both sides. To this extent, your decision is a complete nullity and void ab initio. Now, as you are aware, the jurisdiction to take a disciplinary action against our client, who is a constituency officer, lies in the region, which is the appropriate forum, quote, or into bracket, level of the party to sit on any complaint against our client if there is any. So those are the instructions that they've given to the NDC party. But I've been joined in the studio by Head of Legal Affairs Desk at JoyNews, Richard Kojonyako, who has been investigating this. So let's understand, where did we start from?
Well, so it started prior 2016, and Mijima, the parliamentary candidate for the Assin Central constituency, had a girlfriend, and so that girlfriend happens to be the wife of the constituency secretary. Now, this is how it all started. So Mijima has been there with this lady, and then he traveled outside the country. So upon his return in 2019, he discovered that the constituency secretary of the party had married the girlfriend. And so, I mean, they teamed up because he became the parliamentary candidate for the party in the 2020 elections. And so they teamed up, and it is said in the constituency that he championed a lot of the campaign issues and all of that. So he used to be going to the house of this constituency secretary, whose wife had been his girlfriend.
Okay.
And so things went on, and then he had some info that this parliamentary candidate was having an affair with the wife. And so, according to sources within the constituency, he had some cameras set up, and so the parliamentary candidate was captured in a video.
Okay.
And part of the video has gone viral within the constituency.
Okay.
And so, elders of the party in 2021 sat down, and then there were demands. So the first demand that the constituency secretaries are alleged to have made was 100,000 from the parliamentary candidate. The parliamentary candidate then offered to pay 30,000 Ghana cedis. So there was that kind of bargain, and so they settled on 80,000 so that this video would not be shown to the entire public for some scandal to erupt.
Okay.
And so the 80,000, I'm told, was paid, and so the issues got settled. So in 2022, the lady divorced the constituency secretary. Exactly.
Okay.
And so
they aren't there as we speak.
Exactly.
They are not
as
married.
we speak now, they are not married. And so things later went on between the parliamentary candidate and the woman in question. And so the matter of the video also resurfaced. And so that was what led to the decision by the regional executive. You know that the regional executive took a decision, and later on the functional executive committee of the NDC came out to say that they didn't seek their approval before taking that decision, and that is what has warranted the suspension of the regional chairman. And so the beef of this constituency secretary is that, why is it that the thing affects me? We have come to show you a video, and instead of settling down to settle the matter, you have gone ahead to suspend me. And that is why he's issued a 3-day ultimatum to the party for them to rescind the suspension they have given him. And
so this video has been shown to the party executives, the functional executives.
Yeah, the regional executive.
Okay. But the earlier decision was that the candidate was suspended.
The candidate was suspended based on the video. They sat down on the matter and realized that, well, it was going to be very difficult to market such a product, such a candidate, because of the scandal that is currently around him. And so they decided that, well, why don't we deal with the matter at our level so that we can replace this candidate? Okay. And that was what led to the removal or the suspension of the parliamentary candidate. And that is why the national executive came in and said that you cannot take that action without recourse to us. Okay. And so they quashed the decision of the regional party and invited the regional chairman and the regional secretary for a meeting in Accra. And following that, the regional chairman was suspended and the constituency secretary was suspended. Okay,
I'm grateful to you for that background there, because it puts this matter into some context. But we're joined by Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gwande, with more on this development in the constituency. Mustafa, here is your constituency secretary saying that he's giving the party 3 days to rescind that decision, else he takes you on in court. What's the response of the party?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our cherished listeners. I believe that, first and foremost, the letter written by the lawyer, I'll call it misleading legal opinion or legal advice, because the National Executive Committee have not judged and found the constituency secretary guilty. On the face of the evidence that we have following that report or that action by the Regional Executive Committee, we have done some amount of investigation into the issues. First and foremost, there were issues of extortion. There were conducts that borders on cybercrime. And so we have decided to suspend him, referred that conduct to the national. He will be heard, or he will be given fair hearing. Now, if you go behind this to say that you've been judged wrongly and you've been accused, and that matter, you are threatening a general secretary to revoke the decision of a functional executive committee. It is only whether you are ignorant. It is only if you are ignorant. 2, you sought misleading legal advice. That is when you will advance some of these arguments. As we speak, I will not be the one to destroy the reputation of my brother, who is the constituency secretary, now suspended, in order to go into the details of the issue. I believe that when he meets the National Disciplinary Committee, all the facts will be on the table. He would have the occasion with his lawyers to adduce evidence to defend himself. If he is not found guilty, he will be reinstated. It is not the same as the case of the. We have found the action of the regional chairman in excess. Hello?
Yeah, it's okay now. It was on side. It wasn't. You had muted, so I was telling you.
Yes, so I'm saying that the regional chairman took a decision with his region when he had no powers to take such decision.
Okay.
He appeared before Functional Executive Committee. It was clear that even though the region acted in good faith, they also admitted that they couldn't have the capacity to take such a decision. And so that is why
now his lawyers say
he was suspended 1 month.
His lawyers say if you don't reinstate him, he will take the case to court. Are you going to reinstate him to avoid the matter going to court?
Well, everyone can go to court. He's a member of the party. He stands suspended. And as such, it is his right to seek any legal advice. But I will advise him, as the Deputy General Secretary, that he will heed caution, appear before the disciplinary committee and make his case.
Okay.
He cannot be running around and be flying letters from lawyers under the opinion which is misleading and of no effect.
Okay.
We are not afraid of going to court. And so he stands suspended, and that is what it is.
Mustafa, I'm grateful to you for joining us with the party's reaction to this. Now, away from that, there is tension in Parliament as both the majority and minority sides clash over the appointment of Minister of State designate Herbert Crapper. The minority in Parliament blocked the request by the majority to expedite the confirmation hearing and approval of Minister of State designate for the Energy Ministry, Herbert Crapper. The President nominated the Deputy Energy Minister to a Minister of State at the Energy Ministry only last Tuesday. The Majority Leader, Alexander F.L. requested the House to fast-track some of the processes in place for the vetting and conduct the vetting as soon as today. Listen.
Rules provide that we have to put in an advert. And Mr. Speaker, considering the content of the communication as read by Mr. Speaker to us and the need to get certain things done, I will humbly pray that in view of Order 21710, which provides for a certain advert to be done, if Mr. Speaker could direct the clerk responsible for such advert to get an online portal to do the publication. Mr. Speaker, now the newspapers, all of them, graphic does online, Daily Ghanaian Times does online and all, so that the appointment committee headed by your good self can sit tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, the colleague who has earned this nomination is already known to this House. He was vetted for the position of Deputy Minister, and this House passed him. I believe that he is not completely new to this House. Even today, he came to answer questions on behalf of his minister, and he's getting in as a Minister of State. So, Mr. Speaker, it's just a very humble plea with the indulgence of my colleagues for this to be done for him tomorrow. It does not mean that there wouldn't be an opportunity for colleagues to fully vet him. So, Mr. Speaker, we are fortified by the Constitution.
But the minority will have none of that. Deputy Minority Leader Ama Kofi Boa says there's no urgency to approve the minister designate.
Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, the Minister of Energy is still in place. The Minister of Energy is still the Minister of Energy. What is the urgency that we are talking about? First, as has been stated, 21710 is very clear. Is there any publication in the newspaper? The intention is to ensure that the people of Ghana participate in this process. They participate in this process. And I think that we are even putting you in a very difficult position. The chairman of the committee, now sitting in the chair, being asked to disregard our own standing orders. We are talking to the Pope. No, I know. No, you are not saying we should disregard it. You humbly said, but I'm saying that. Okay, please. So I humbly believe that, frankly, this matter, now that it has come to the public domain, at least at the minimum, let's publish it in the newspaper somewhere. Because nobody has said here that there has been a publication. Let's publish it in the newspaper for the record, because this is a house of rules. Then we can move forward from there. I thank you.
So this particular matter has to do with the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, who has been nominated to be the running mate to the flag bearer of the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So let's take you to the Assin Central region now, where family of the freshly confirmed vice presidential candidate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, have been reacting with joy to the announcement. His family says he is humble, despite public sentiment that the Energy Minister is arrogant. Nana Boachi Yadon reports from Apejafie.
Looks better than John Dramani Mahama.
From all economic history and everything, 1%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stands head and shoulders over John Dramani Mahama.
So 2024 is a done deal for the MPP.
2024 will be a done deal for MPP.
Born and bred in Menchia Apejafie in Kumasi, young Nana Poku attended Prempeh College for his O and A level before pursuing further studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Human Biology. Before delving into active politics, he practiced as a medical doctor, demonstrating commitment to healthcare provision. Dr. Opoku Prempeh, popularly known as Snapo, was first elected to Parliament in 2008 to represent the Menchia constituency and later Menchia South, holding on to the seat till now. Nana Kwabena Mensah is Apejafie Asafohene, Napo's royal family.
Napo Apejafie yani pepefia ya tete no ma ne nyini ha ni school kom ni bribia Apejafie no tia kwapem se nyame boaye o graduating in school bribia boni doctorate degree here no call medicine or tech sana or call abruchre.
The Apejafie is his father's home, where he was born and lived throughout his days in basic school to the university, even before moving to study abroad.
Ojo papa o breno ho ase ti sorano pa no jaria na disua na sen school nana ni woso one say obey ready na ne nana Droa onya koko ma omunomo na brebi momudia.
He has been a calm and humble child since childhood. He was focused on school and studies. He has always been indoors studying and he took everything seriously. He is a prince because he was born to a king. According to Nana Kwabena Mensah, Dr. Opoku Prempe's confirmation as Dr. Bawumia's running mate has brought joy to the family.
No, ne say obey politics. Na radidi na kwa kudru baby ewa memum. Nti ura politics mono enya dia higher busuano cry bompa ye man of party rade betwano so no de na kwa kudru baby. Nti say
his aim is to be a politician and move to greater heights, and the family has always embraced this decision with prayers. For us, we are happy about the selection as running mate to Dr. Bawumia. We are praying for God's protection. This is an exciting news.
NPP amenyokuo running mate. Ebusua no mo fa asem yesen.
De mpaibo etanachi. Yesre nananom samanfo empa yesunsum ni bribia antanachi na onya hoden won nanamontuom.
The Ashanti region has become critical to the MPP's success in the December polls due to its large voting population. The party believes its chances in the region is bolstered by the selection of Dr. Opoku Prempe as running mate. Naming Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe as running mate also solidifies the MPP's connections with key demographics within the area, potentially swaying votes in the party's favor come December.
I think you have to compare John Mahama with Nanado, not Bawumia.
We are looking at both of them coming up against each other in the December 7th general elections.
If you can only compare John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as vice presidents, because both of them have occupied that position as vice president. And I think the comparison is tilted in the favor of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
However, critics argue the choice of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe may not satisfy demands for equitable representation across regions. For Joy News, my name is Nana Boachidankwe Kumasi.
Are you ready to wave your flags?
President Nana Akufo-Addo has been speaking to the media about the approval and expressed optimism in the ticket for electoral victory for the MPP.
The Council has just endorsed the nomination of Matthew Opoku Prempe to be the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The MPP has an excellent ticket, and we're going to win with this ticket in 2024, 7th of December. That's the news. That's the news.
How's the feeling?
Feeling is good. The feeling is good. Well, they make a very good pair, and they're going to win.
Well, away from that, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has called on the African continent to consider a shift from a common macroeconomic convergence that focuses on similar policies of inflation, public debt, among others, and rather pursue a continental mobile money interoperability. If successfully adopted, according to the Vice President, a continent-wide digital payment system will not only improve intra-African trade, but will promote financial inclusion and formalize businesses on the continent. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was addressing the African Prosperity Network in Accra Friday morning, argued that an efficient continent-wide mobile money interoperability could, in the meantime, substitute Africa's pursuit for a common currency. Latif Idrisu has the rest of the story.
The African continent has over the years pursued the macroeconomic convergence policy, which is aimed at stabilizing the regional economy and also safeguarding it from excessive fluctuations due to external shocks. But that has over the years been a difficult feat to achieve. The Vice President, during his presentation here at the African Prosperity Network made the case that the time has come for the continent to rather pursue a continental level mobile money interoperability. For him, that will go a long way to improve on financial inclusion.
A large proportion of the population unbanked. And so Ghana's example is one that we should learn from in the continent, because when in 2018 we decided to introduce mobile money interoperability, it was the first of its kind on the continent, because we were doing mobile money interoperability not only amongst the telcos, but we're looking at interoperability between the telcos and the banks.
If successfully implemented, the Vice President says a continental mobile money interoperability would easily replace the pursuit for a single currency, an ambitious policy for Africa that has not yet been realized.
When we think about scaling up mobile money interoperability to the entire continent, I believe that doing so will get at the benefits of a payment system without necessarily having a common currency. The idea of the common currency, which came in 1963, has really been overtaken by the digital payments age, that today you can think about the mobile money as a common currency if we make it interoperable.
The founder and executive chairman of the African Prosperity Network, Gabi Ochridako, underscored the need for mobile money interoperability at the continental level to also improve intra-continental trade.
For a continent where majority of our people earn their daily wage through micro, small, and medium enterprises, what is absolutely and undeniably clear to us is that the future of Africa is being more and more defined by the freedom of inclusion, the abundance of opportunities, and the ladder to prosperity which digital economy provides.
Addressing the gathering here, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Ernest Addison, made a point that the concept of interoperable mobile money system can deliver a seamless cross-border payment system across the continent and improve intra-continental trade.
Africa has made giant strides in fintech development and regulation, particularly with its leadership role in mobile money technology space. Therefore, the concept of interoperable mobile money systems holds an enormous potential towards the establishment of a comprehensive cross-border payment interoperability in the short, medium term.
From the Labadi Beach Hotel, this is Latif Idris reporting for Joy News.
This is still the JoyNews Prime. We'll take a quick break here. I'll be back with more. Please do stay. Come back from the break now. Let's take you to Kolebu because the hospital is uncertain when its only broken radiotherapy machine will be fixed as engineers race to diagnose a problem, leaving patient in dire need of treatment as time ticks away. Patients visiting the hospital for cancer treatment are urging managers to expedite repairs, citing severe impact on their health. Many, including a breast cancer patient referred from the University of Ghana Medical Center, report being left stranded due to the malfunctioning.
Based on the type of cancer that I had, I am not supposed to delay in treatment. If the invasive type, and I was scheduled for radiation treatment, which will take 16 working days. But I realized that they were having issues with their machine. It keeps breaking down. Anytime I go, I was scheduled last week, Thursday. I did Thursday and Friday, and I'm supposed to continue from Monday up to date. After those two treatments that I had, I've never had any. So when we calculate 7 days, I had 2 days out of the 7 days, which is so giving me so much stress. I'm here today not talking for myself alone, but there are a lot of women out there in Kolebu, children, men, that are having the same issue. The whole Ghana currently, only 2 machines that is supposed to be working in Kolebu. The one that I am using has broken down. The one that is working now is the old type that is less effective. As in, when I said less effective, meaning that it comes with other complications, more complications. But the one that I am supposed to be using has less complications.
Now, head of oncology department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Professor Joel Yane, says engineers are on site trying to diagnose and fix the machine. However, he is uncertain how long this will take.
I can see, I can't tell. All that I can say is that our engineers are on site. They are on it now as I speak. We've been working on it since this morning. So I hope they will be able to identify the problem, and then the part will be readily available.
But again,
if the part is not available, then it has to be ordered.
Okay.
Yeah, so I began with an introductory statement explaining that I understand what we are dealing with. There are ways, there are mechanisms available to us to adjust the treatment to compensate for the missed dates. Ideally, it shouldn't happen, but if it does happen, there are ways correcting it. But the wider the gap, the more difficult it becomes to compensate.
Quite a dire situation there. Now, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has discovered a new strategy of examination malpractice by candidates who set their examinations. Candidates in their new modus operandi of cheating have now resorted to inserting contact of their parents with money stashed in their answer booklets. According to WAEC, this approach aims to induce and compromise examiners to award them undeserving grades. There's more in this report.
A total of 569,095 candidates, made up of 282,648 males and 286,447 females from 19,506 participating schools, have registered for this year's school examination. This figure represents a decrease of 5.29% compared to a 2023 entry figure of 600,900. Head of Corporate Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, said the council has so far received over 55 million Ghana cedis from the government, and arrangements are being made for the release of the remainder.
Sure, we have received enough finances to be able to conduct the examination. I indicated a figure of 55.8 million that we've received, and as I speak, there are plans that are being made for the release of the remainder of the examination fee so as to enable us process the results and release them at the appropriate time. But as I said, whatever we receive right now will enable us conduct the examination. And then we'll also, like I said, they have made plans to release further funds for us to be able to complete the process.
He, however, cautioned candidates to desist from seeking external support in the course of the examination.
It's becoming alarming because the rate at which they are doing it, and this time around, they are even including phones of their parents, and that for us is a worrying situation. We also have situations where, they put some amounts of money. Some of them will put in 50 Ghana cedis, some put 100, some even put more than 100 Ghana cedis in there. So we think that for us, soliciting external assistance is punishable. And so we want them to desist from this so that we can have a very, smooth examination.
How did you discover this? Is it the examiners who reported, or it was through your investigations that you discovered it?
The examiners would usually report to us whatever they discover in the examination script. So these are things that our examiners discovered and reported to us.
Do you have instances whereby some examiners did not report this type of incidents to you?
That would be difficult to tell because we would only know because they are the ones who receive the scripts, they are the ones who are marking them. So if there have been situations like that, we would not be able to report that. But at least what we're talking about are the ones that have been reported to us.
Head of Legal at WAEC, Mr. Victor Brew, also revealed that 19 cases of examination malpractices were recorded last year. Out of these cases, 4 have been convicted.
Right from 2023, as we indicated earlier, we have had 19 cases recorded. Now, recorded does not mean that there were only 19, incidents, but to say that out of all the incidents, the ones that were seen to have been legally ripe for investigation, further investigations, and for the court processes to be triggered, were 19 recorded. Now, out of it, a total number of 13 still under investigations, as I said, because then, the police will have to do their work and make sure that from their perspective, what we call a prima facie case has been made, and that all the evidence, relevant evidence, are well documented for prosecution. But to say that, I'm glad to say that 6 of these cases are in court, wherefore, in terms of those who were found or suspected to have been involved in examination malpractice, 4 have been convicted and 2 hearings are ongoing. Yes, as of 4 July 2024. Yes.
The West African Examination Council is soliciting the collective effort of all examination officials, heads of schools, and leaders in the community to ensure the smooth conduct of the examination